local government development authority, I see the policy thrust of the government, and together, all working to ensure that Lagos State is safe into greater hands, and that there is peace and harmony and understanding between the local government and the state government. And the achievements of that ministry and the activities of the local government and local government development authority, where they pretend and ensure that things are working to the glory of God and the benefit of the citizenry of Lagos State. I'm talking of no other man than the barrister and the lawyer of record, Honorable Mr. Ademore Kuye. You are welcome, sir, to give the account of stewardship in the last 365 days. Thank you.
Team in the ministry, welcome the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Strategy, gentlemen of the press. This is the third-year report of the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Now, the ministry has a vision statement which is provided on page 2. To the extent that we want to provide qualitative service delivery that is reform-driven and a top-tier government for sustainable grassroots development. And our mission statement is to ensure efficient, transparent administration of the top-tier government and preservation of our cultural heritage through peaceful coexistence among our various communities. As your beloved government in Lagos State continues to intensify efforts in its developmental stride, while at the same time also putting finishing touches on its landmark achievements in the state, will please permit me to begin this presentation by taking a retrospective glance at the activities of the ministry. This presentation is a further testimony of the resolve of the present administration to give account of its stewardship to the citizens of the state. There is no gainsaying the fact that local government administration is a constitutional setup which epitomizes the best realization of the ideas of good governance, given its closeness to the people. Government activities at the local level in the state are not limited to capacity building, but implementation of extensive programs and policies that are people-oriented. The assignments, in order to attain the lofty goals of the state government in the discharge of its responsibility to the citizen, the ministry is charged with the following statutory responsibilities, which are coordination of the administration of the local government, monitoring of public utilities under the local government, coordination of development plans for local government and the LCDAs, loans and grants to our local government, the chieftaincy affairs and all other matters that relate to the issues of overs and chiefs, public complaints as regards our local government, monitoring and ensuring implementation of guidelines for federal and state governments, training of elected functionaries and political office holders at the local government in collaboration with the Local Government Service Commission, the market registration, valuation of government properties, maintaining relations with the following bodies: the Local Government Council, the Local Government Service Commission, an office of the State Auditor General for local government, and federal government agencies. In carrying out these responsibilities, the ministry functions through 4 departments, namely the local government affairs, the local government monitoring department, chieftaincy affairs, boundary matters, finance and administration, and then accounts. We equally have 6 other units, namely the evaluation office, the press and public relations, budget and planning, resources, internal audits and procurement. In breaking down the activities of these departments, we'll start with the monitoring department. In a bid to efficiently conduct its oversight functions in the local government, the ministry will position the monitoring department for effective supervision of projects such that the various local governments and the LCDA conform to lay down principles and standards of project conceptualization and implementation. The ministry conducted inspection of 20 ongoing and completed capital projects executed by the local governments and the LCDAs to ensure that the projects were done in line with contractual agreements, due process, and state standards. 33 applications to execute various local government projects such as roads, drainages, markets, administrative blocks, primary health centers were processed for the approval of the ministry through the already known channels. Investigations were conducted and promptly addressed concerning over 350 petitions, complaints, information requests that were received from members of the public, private organizations, government agencies, non-governmental organizations, as a result of activities of our local government and the LCDAs that were reported to the ministries. Such complaints, information requests include local government charges and rates, land encroachment and land grabbing, abandonments, and substandard project executions as a complaint to us by the CDAs and interested parties. 36 comprehensive reports were compiled and recommendations were made for government implementation with regard to petitions investigated, mostly on chargeable rates, jurisdiction, where they are supposed to pay those rates to, because there are always competitions between, local governments, especially after the division of the local government and the LCDAs, and functions of the local government. The state monthly environmental sanitation exercise in all the 57 local government and the LCDAs were monitored and supervised with the environmental health officers in order to ensure strict compliance by officials of our local councils and the citizens, while the local governments and the LCDAs are mandated to submit monthly environmental reports to the ministry for further necessary actions. 65 environmental alerts and relevant reports were received about flooded areas, open and overflowing drainages, dirty and unhygienic premises, bad roads, street trading, noise pollution, and so on. And the ministry contacted the relevant authorities for necessary action in order to keep the staff on their toes on scheduled visits and tours of local government are conducted, such as visit. Last week, there was an unscheduled visit to Baltimore, and Curtis Adeni Jones. During the rainfall, we received an alert, and we quickly moved there with the local government officials. Just this morning, we were at Chieftaincy for another unscheduled visit. I was in the company of the Director of Local Government Affairs. Also, in the period under review, officers of the department embarked on monitoring evaluation tour of all the 57 local governments in Lagos State to ensure that gray areas in the new administrative local government guidelines were addressed, because most of our local governments are just keeping themselves abreast of the new administrative guidelines that the ministry issued today. 28 environmental alerts were also issued by the ministry to various environmental sanitation defaulters. The Department of Local Government Affairs has the mission and the objective of ensuring efficient and transparent administration of the third tier of government. As part of other departments that make up the nucleus of the ministry during the period under review holistically contributed to grassroots administration and development as follows: coordinated the monthly JAC meeting and served as the secretariat of the JAC committee, facilitated monthly meeting of the chairman, where all issues bordering on local government administration were discussed. The ministry continued to facilitate meeting of the local government chairman with His Excellency on a monthly basis, where topical concerns are equally deliberated as the need arise. The ministry facilitated the timely and proper purchase and allocation of market shops within the newly built or the modern Teju show market to our 57 local governments. The ministry facilitated the payment of claims on insurance benefits to next of kin of deceased staff of our primary schools and the staff of the local government. Presently, the ministry is working on the payment of further insurance premium on group life and personal accident policy to primary school teachers and local government staff. During the period under review, the ministry continued to monitor the quality of preparation, execution, and compliance to approved budgets to each of the local governments. This is what we are trying to do to ensure that there is performance of up to 80% and above of the budget approved for our local government. During the period under review, the ministry continued to monitor the quality of preparation, execution, and compliance to approved budgets, like I have said before. The ministry, through its market units, serves as a revenue source for the ministry and for the state, and continue to oversee the activities of the market association vis-a-vis registration, renewal of licenses, adjudication among market factions, and so on. In the period under review, 5 commodity market associations were registered and 33 renewal applications for commodity market associations were processed and approved for implementation. As part of the effort of the ministry to boost job capacity of local government, top management personnel, the ministry analyzed various training proposals and having approved those relevant to the third tier governance, went on to facilitate those training programs. The ministry continues to play key role as the liaison agent between federal agencies and our local government in the issue of MDGs, data for revenue sharing formulas, collation of statistics by the central bank, DFID, and so on, of residents the delegations from the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies in Kuru, after visiting His Excellency, were equally hosted by two of our local governments, namely Lagos Island and Ibejuleki local government. The marriage unit of the ministry generated revenue into the state cover through the issuance of 120 special licenses, registration of 6 churches, and renewal of 2 other churches to enable them to carry out marriages. The ministry has been working assiduously with Gen 3 on improving revenue generation efforts of our local government in the state. The pilot project was launched in Ejigbo, LCDA, and consequent to the huge success recorded in the council area, additional local governments are set to take off. The ministry was instrumental to the participation of legal officers in the local government and the LCDAs at the last edition of the International Bar Conference held in Boston in USA. This afforded the lawyers to network with other lawyers across the globe on contemporary issues and to introduce and practice international best standards in their respective local governments. The ministry has continued to play a very important role in the issue of collectible levies and tax by members of the public. The Department of Chieftaincy Affairs. The department is responsible for the general administration of traditional institutions across the state in accordance with the Obas and Chiefs Law of Lagos State. In the last 1 year, the ministry has secured the approval of the State Council of the appointment of His Royal Majesty Oba Wolabi Adesina Adeniyi as the Oba of Igbobi Sade. In the same year, the ministry was able to obtain the approval of the State Exco in recognizing 7 new chiefs and bailiffs in Epe, Ibeju, LCDA, and in Ikeja, LCDA, particularly at Odilekere. Other 27 chieftaincy matters have been referred to the State Standing Tribunal of Inquiry on Chieftaincy Matters. The office of the Chieftaincy Standing Tribunal of Inquiry has been totally rehabilitated, with tribunal ready to commence hearing. In fact, the tribunal has done the application, they have done the advert in the newspaper, invited application from prospective aspirants for overship. Contracts have been awarded for the furnishing of the 2 palaces that have been completed. That's the palace of the Ayonguri of Ikorodu and the Oba Lara, the Alara of Alara. Department of Boundary Matters. The Boundary Matters Department is one of the departments in the ministry that ensure a cordial relationship with other states that share boundaries with the state. They also serve as secretariat to the Lagos State Boundary Committee chaired by Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of the state. In the year under review, prior to year 2003, the Lagos State had 20 local governments, of which we now have an additional 37 LCDAs. This has led to the state having 2037 each with well-described and defined administrative boundaries. Meanwhile, after the creation, physical delineation, exercise of these boundaries were not carried out. This led to encroachment of boundaries by local governments and the LCDs. The ministry set up a committee to look into boundary disputes between our local governments and the LCDs. For example, we had issues to contend with between Agege local government and Ikeja local government, between Agege local government and Orili Agege local government, between Apapa and Apapa Igonu, LCDA, and so on and so forth. In view of this, the ministry is in advanced stage to put necessary physical delineation of the local government and the LCDs in place. Also, during the year under review, the department resolved the misunderstanding between Adimosho local government and the Nigerian Association of Patent and Proprietary Medicine Dealers in Egbeda and Akwojo over claims by the administration, by the association, on double payment of rates by members. The panel set up by the ministry in a Chieftaincy division has submitted reports on the boundary issue between Otai Kosi and Egbe or Igbe Town. The ESCO has passed the report of Justice Ishola, retired, on the boundary dispute between Ijede, Egbe, and Epaka. And the implementation of this report is being carried out by the ministry. The Department of Planning, Budget and Statistics, in the last 1 year, its activities have been extended to monitoring budget compliance at our LCDAs and local government. I can tell you authoritatively that they are presently looking at not fewer than 10 local governments now to ensure budget compliance in those local governments. Disputes between the two arms, the councillors and the executive arms in the local government are being looked at, especially as it concerns budget matters. Other achievements by the ministry includes revenue generation, VAT and debt rates, coordination, construction, ensuring standard construction of road culverts, drainages, street lights across the state. We equally have under this ministry the valuation office. The valuation department is charged with the responsibility of valuation of rateable properties, valuation of properties for various purposes, compilation of supplementary valuation lists, determination of objection by public rate payers, and the training of staff in the valuation office. The valuation office conducted evaluation of the following in the year under review: a standard office accommodation that was rented for Lagos State Parks and Garden Agency, unserviceable items at the office of the clerk of the House of Assembly. The office compiled supplementary statistical data purposes at Jubilee Estate and CMD Road in Magodo. Meanwhile, in line with its statutory duties, the office is currently performing asset valuation for insurance purpose of lands and buildings, plants and machineries, furniture, fittings and equipment within the Secretariat. The Department for Finance and Admin have been engaged in promotion of staff exercise. Over 10 officers comprising junior and senior officers were presented for year 2014 promotion examination and interview. Staff welfare have been adequately considered and treated. The ministry's administrative registry was actively maintained for effective record keeping and information management. The PRO prepared this, and they equally cover our activities. They liaise with LTV to ensure that the local governments and chieftaincy affairs get sufficient airtime. In conclusion, I must at this point appeal to the good people of Lagos State to continue to pay their taxes and levies as at when due to our local government, and also to get registered with LASPA as Lagos residents in all our local governments. LASPA offices are located at the local government secretariats. You can go there and register. Gentlemen of the press, let me round up this address by thanking you once more for your steadfast and usual support to the ministry in the last 3 years. The relationship between the different officers, it tells us who can keep properties for the local government. It defines the person who has responsibility to sign contracts on behalf of the local government. It tells them the kind of contract they can enter into and the limits of their power in entering into such contracts. It tells them as to who and who needs to approve contracts for them and what kind of contract will need state approval. And it goes on and on like that. This guideline has been able to help us maintain sanity or sustain sanity and peaceful harmony between the different organs of the local government. The second question has to do with security, partnership between the local government and the states in ensuring security of the state. Now, you will recall that just recently the local government bought vehicles numbering 114 vehicles, which were donated through the state to our various police stations, the various police divisions. Aside that, we are aware that our local governments are mandated to provide other logistics to the police divisions in their various local governments. This they have constantly been doing. And just yesterday, the local government joined the state to commission the newly constructed police station at Oilegon. All right? And these are ways of ensuring that the security of lives and properties are sustained in the state. Now, on the issue of illegal collection by people who profess to be council officials, whereas they are not council officials, we have severally issued out directives to our local government that any local government found wanting will be sanctioned. And whenever we receive complaints from any portal, we promptly treat them and we direct our local government to make sure that whatever they are collecting is within the approved rates by the Lagos who will want to breach the law, particularly illegal, what do they call themselves, landowners, who sometimes even go to government scheme to sell lands to people. These people, we are constantly meeting with them through their hobbies to tell them to desist from such acts. And where they are caught, they are criminally prosecuted. Now, about functions of local governments being taken over by the states. That does not happen in these states. I say that with all sense of responsibilities, except for those functions where there is a partnership between the state and the local government. And maybe you're referring to advertisements. You will agree with me that the coordination of advertisements in the state now is only possible because of the partnership between the state and the local government. And that will not amount to taking up the responsibility of the local government, because ultimately the money that is collected is paid to the local government. Now, we cannot deny hearing complaints from the populace about illegal traffic officers saying that they are operating on behalf of the local government. We have held meetings with our local government chairman. Local government chairmen have addressed the press at different fora, saying that they don't know about these people. All right? And just a week or two ago, we issued out another letter to all our local governments, telling them that wherever we find this happening, we are going to hold such local government council chairman responsible. We have equally copied the Lagos State Task Force that they should make sure that wherever they find these illegal traffic officers, they should arrest them and prosecute them. Thank you.
3 questions for you. The first one is from Kayode Sunday Emmanuel. He says, please, I want to know if Ikondo LCDA has not been collecting allocations from the state. Virtually all roads in the area are bad, especially Ikondo Newtown, from Hotel Bus Stop to General. Second question from Ajibade Joseph Bankole. He says, please, why is many local government streets in worse condition? And in 1999, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did all these roads, and since then, nobody, especially in Mushi local government area, you can come to many streets there, and you'll be surprised on what you will see. Please help us out. The third question is from Obashi Joel Adeni. He says, my question goes to the Attorney General of Lagos and the Commissioner for Local Government. A king was illegally installed in Otuawori on May 27, 2007. Please dethrone Josiah Olanrewaju Ayemo as a lot of Otuawori. He is illegal. We don't want politics involved. So please list the questions, sir.
They collect their statutory allocation as at when due, as it comes into the JAG account every month. And therefore, there is no reason why the local government should not implement whatever has been approved in its budget, particularly as it concerns the road. But the road that this gentleman mentioned, from Hotel Bus Stop to the place he just mentioned, is a state road. And I'm sure that the state is presently considering it, and it will be finished very soon. The construction started all the way from Osonkola and is going down the road to Hotel Bus Stop. And I'm very sure that very soon the state will get there. Now, concerning the roads in Mushin, I'm aware and I've been to Mushin to commission some roads. I am not saying that all the roads in Mushin have been completed and fully done by the local government, but I'm sure that the local government is looking at more roads to be done, and will, at our end, they will ensure that they do so, not only in Mushin, but for the remaining 56 local governments. Now, the Oba of Awori, that the gentleman mentioned that is an illegal king, we cannot say so because his appointment and coronation was approved by the State Executive Council in 2007, and therefore his appointment and coronation is legitimate. If he has any complaint, the court is there to take his complaint and ensure that justice is done. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Ministry of Development and Affairs, Chieftaincy appears that CCIA thank the gentlemen of the press, because this exercise is actually meant for you to listen to the achievements of various entities in the state government, and for you to assist us in disseminating our various landmark achievements in that country. So for coming, distinguished gentlemen of the press, thank you for coming. So my colleagues by the Ministry of Information and strategy that have organized this process, thank you. My colleagues from the ministry, you are most welcome. Most especially the Government Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, thank you for honoring the invitation of the gentlemen of the press to come and address you. So the Almighty God, thank you.